What's up, guys? Yeah, yeah, yo. How y'all doing? Can you guys hear me well? Let me just see the chat right here. I can put the chat. Mm, I can put it here. Or, yeah. Image is blurry. Is it? Is it blurry? Actually? Um, you guys tell me if the image is blurry. Oh, wait. Let me see. I don't know. Should be good though. I think if you just change the I think if you just change the number of pixels, it should be good. But what's up, guys? Hopefully, you guys are doing great. I am. After taking my payout yesterday, requested $15,000. So we can talk about it for sure. Um, and yeah, pretty happy with this, of course. Just waiting for my phone to get charged up a little bit, but because I hate that I can't see the chat somewhere else. I need a third screen actually. I actually need a third screen. But yeah. So what am I seeing here? To be honest, right now, I don't hate the longs. If we can reject this high at this low here, so this fair value gap, and then start pushing up towards those highs, I would I would like to see if we can close above the structure here. If we can, it would be a possible good long opportunity. Why is the line white? We're still respecting a 15-minute fair value gap, so if we can have a market structure shift out of that, would be good for those longs. So it's 112. We'll see what we can get. There's also a gap right below us, so I'm gonna be patient. Yeah, the payout hit literally in. I made another video because I requested 4 payouts on Tradeify TV Live, and I requested one more uh at like 6 p.m. ish. Because one of my accounts was 1,000 had $1,000 less than the others because one trade didn't copy, and I needed to make 1,000 to request the payout on the last, and I made the 1,000. So was pretty aggressive yesterday also. Let me see here. Mm, I think I'm gonna put. I just have to put this close to my face cam, I think, and that should be good. Yeah, just like this, a little bit more. Yep, be good. So you guys can see the. I can do this and push it up a little bit. Just like that. Appreciate y'all for the congrats on the payout. Let me just see here. I didn't even make any announcements on Twitter. All right. Yeah, nothing for longs now, actually. Absolutely can't go long. Let me just put the chat here. That will be better for me to read it that way. Because I have two screens, but I need another screen on my right to read the chat. All right. Is there a giveaway today? Yeah, there's a giveaway for a 50K growth account. If we can reach 100 likes, there is going to be a 50K account giveaway. You don't open a trade in the morning session? Yeah, I could. It's just I didn't see any opportunities today to do so. Damn, I moved it like a dumbass. Yeah, that should be good. Can't move that. But for today, really, I didn't see any opportunities whatsoever at all. So let's see the shorts here, but even the shorts, they were not clean like that. The market structure shift was clean. Let's say, and you could have said, okay, 9:30 open, Judah swing, market structure shift, but no inversion plays really. I think this was an inversion play though on the 30-second. Yeah, this was a play on the 30-second, but not a lot of people have access to that. But here you swept that pre-market low, sell side liquidity sweep into this 15-minute gap right here. And then you had SMT with ES right here, which was pretty good. You had an SMT with ES. So, and then you had a 30-second inversion right here. It would have been good if it was a 1 minute. Would have been better even. Traded gold and YM. Good stuff. Can you do a breakdown of your model? What you look for when you open the chart? I have multiple models, but the model that I show on YouTube, basically, it's using 15-minute fair value gaps as support and resistance, and then waiting for signs of aggression from opposite participants to scalp in the opposite direction. So let's say here in this case, you have a 15-minute gap. We know this is a good area that price could possibly bounce from because there's a lot of aggressive buyers that were interested in that price last time we traded here. So next time we trade there, they will most likely defend their position in order to create a new high in the market. So now that you have this box, and you know that this box is a good area of support, you want to see price entering aggressively inside this 15-minute gap by creating a fair value gap in the opposite direction. So 1, 2, 3 minute or 5 minute, and then you want to see those buyers um, stand up again, defend their position, and squeeze those sellers. So creating an inverse right here, stop loss right below this low, take profit right here. And there's a lot of scenarios where, you know, you could master that model in a way that, okay, you don't take those kind of scenarios. You risk a little bit more in those kind of scenarios, etc., etc. So a lot of stuff you could do with this. But the model that I show, really, there's mainly two models. It's when we create a gap like this, you wait for the gap to get tapped into to play the continuation like this, or when a gap gets created and you reject buy side, you try to short back into this gap knowing that it acts like a magnet. So these are the two plays you can basically take. But let's say, like, purely in terms of inversions, I still like this 5 minute right here. It was a pretty clean 5 minute. Couldn't, swept buy side, couldn't close a singular handle above the high. 1, 2, 3, and the fourth candle disrespect the gap. Short right here, back into the unfilled 15, and you get out. This was, a really good play in my opinion. Yeah, my cam is literally right up, so I can't see. So you either had this 30-second play right here, which it could be really, really, it could be a bad time frame to look at. It could fake you out a little bit more than the 1 minute, but right here could have been a trade for you. Here on that 30-second 1-to-1, you scalp, let's say, an unfilled 5 minute gap. That would be your framework overall. Let's just use the scenario. You swept pre-market lows into a 15-minute gap. This should act as resistance, okay, with support and resistance. Then taps it, creates a bearish gap, inverse it on the 30-second, and then you scalp an unfilled gap. So let's say here, if I go on the 5, there was an unfilled gap on the 5. So if you see, okay, we reject, this candle cannot even close below the previous candle's low, and we have a gap above, this gap should act as a magnet. So then the longing back into this gap is a really good play in my opinion. And right here again, another good short opportunity. Same kind of framework, just different time frames. But if I go here on this 15-minute chart, you guys can see there is a 15-minute unfilled gap, and then we're rejecting this high perfectly, starting to trade below the opening price, flip, and then this is a good short play for a 1-to-1. So scalping internal gaps and using them as areas that possible targets basically is a really, really good way to trade in my opinion. You have a VIP Discord? Yeah, I have one, but it's not active right now. I closed it. I've been pretty inactive in it for the last 2 months. Yeah, been trading a little bit more on YouTube, and yeah, pretty much it. Tradeify TV also. 3 minute IFVG. I mean, yeah, it wasn't bad. But the thing is yes, you're looking at a 3 that got disrespected here, but on the 5 you have two gaps here, and since the 5 is a higher time frame than the 3, then you shouldn't base your trade on the 3. You're still holding a bearish gap on the 5, so there's still sellers, active sellers right here that could push price down all the way to this low. There's so many mistakes people do when trading this system, in my opinion. Let's say they will come back to me and be like, okay, I didn't have any good stats in my backtesting. Do you respect the rules perfectly? Do you frame your trade exactly the same way I show you? Do you have a mentorship? Yes, I have one, but it's starting this Saturday. So It's you can only have access to it by DMing me on Discord. I will never DM you. It's not something I promote really. You really have to go out of your way to ask me. I take 5 to 8 people every single 2 months and show them everything that I know. So yeah, but it's in my Discord. I have a $500 payout pending from a CFD firm and want to enter futures. Which plan I should go for? You should go for $500. You should go for a 50K growth account. 50K growth account with Tradeify. In my opinion, one day to pass, $90. Really good, really good plan, in my opinion. Very daily on YouTube now? No, not yet. Yeah, I had a question, guys. By the way, do you guys think that me live trading in the AM session would be better? Just tell me actually. I want to know, let's say if I did a live from 10 to 11 AM, do you guys would you guys prefer that, or PM is better? Because I feel like in the AM session everyone is live trading at this time. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my days. All right. I might try it next week then. I might do Cuz right now, guys, I'm doing a road to live account. Basically what I'm doing, I can show you basically the stats, but right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get 4 payouts in a row with Tradeify to secure that 100K plus live account. So uh making lives on YouTube, let's say every single day, documenting every single trade until that live account would be amazing. But yeah, I get you. Like, PM is actually boring, but it's where most of my trades actually come from. But in terms of like inversions and quick plays, AM session is way better in my opinion. For sure. For sure. So now we're respecting this bullish gap on this 15-minute chart. You guys see? Perfect. Wicks do the damage, body tells the story, and then we push back towards most recent highs. So now we'll look and see what we can do from this zone. So yeah, I'll see what I can do with the AM sessions for sure. I'm actually down. Add source. Do I? Do you guys want background music? Let me know if you guys want background music. I can put background music. I just don't know if which one I can take and not. No background music? You're insane. No, no, no. Damn. Yeah, that's the thing. Tradeify TV is live on in the AM session. Um, all those guys are live in the AM session. But I truly feel like There's just not a lot of people trading the PM, no, I think. Really good question. This is one of the best questions I've ever been asked. If you could start all over with trading, what would you do different? All right. First thing, I would not. The first mistake that I did was I was trying to be a lone wolf and I was trying to learn everything on my own without asking the help of someone else to build my system. And that costed me so much time for no reason. What do I mean by this? If I had to start all over again, I would um, I would I would start this journey with people that have the same drive for success, and with a small team of 3 to 4 people, and trying to grind and find a system every single day with those people. Because imagine if you're 4 brains on the same task, how much time, how much easier it will do. It will be basically to find a real system, and how much easier it will be to also stay accountable to your mistakes. So for me, the biggest mistake that I made was not, finding. I had some people, but I was not working with them as much to find a system together. I was more of the lone wolf guy, and I absolutely regret it. Of course, I regret it, and if I had to start all over again, I would definitely use my resources and people, closer to me, to find a solid strategy, find more rules to my strategy, find exactly the reason why this one failed, etc., etc., going back and back test and forward test and do a lot of work with those people. This is the first mistake that I made. Second mistake is, if I had to start all over again, so I would start with more people, and I would not go on YouTube or in signal services looking for that 100% win rate strategy. Um, if I had to start all over again, I would take, something that I judge being valuable. I would look at someone on YouTube or on Twitter that has results, real results with proof. And I would take concepts that he teaches and I would tweak them in my own sauce to find my own system. That's what I would do if I had to start all over again. So don't go into, let's say, signal services trying to think that you will get rich off of those. Don't be that lone wolf. Don't think you will make it without anyone else, because you're just, if you think that way, you're dumb, because so many people will help you reach a certain level in trading that you would have never thought you would be able to reach in the first place. I'm telling you, if you have 3 4 humans on the same system, on the same grind, oh my god, you could make it in like 1.5 year rather than 5. you know don't go into signal services. um Stop lying to yourself. Also, this is one thing. I did this in the past, but stop lying to yourself, which means that um, don't have you need to have a blind faith regarding trading. You need to keep pushing even through the hard times, but stop lying to yourself. When I talk about your data and your approach in trading, know that it's a hard thing to do. Trading is hard. It's a real job. It's a real endeavor, and in order to make it, you need to put in some true work, and don't lie to yourself thinking that one day will uh, just drop in front of your feet and you will be successful. Um, just you need to be super um, hardworking, and you need to know exactly what you're doing, and you need to have the right approach when you're trying to you're coming up basically. But yeah, these are the main takeaways I would say. Um, so these were my main mistakes I would say. I was trying to trade alone. I was strategy hopping because I didn't have the data. I was trusting someone else's system without, back testing it on my own. Um, I was thinking that I was the one. I was wrong in that trade just because of my psychology rather than my edge. All those mistakes are mistakes that beginners will do, but once you have more skin in the game and you actually, you know, look at yourself in the mirror, you're gonna be like, okay, maybe this is not the right approach. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. And also, having a community is so important because some people will make you realize some stuff that you didn't even think about. If you're alone in something, um, sometimes it will take you so much time to realize um, that something is not working out or something is not the right approach, um, just on your own. Like the help of others is truly what makes a difference. Thanks for responding. I guess I need to find my people because I'm so close to giving up. I get funded here and there, but can't ever get a payout. I feel you, but what do you think is the reason why you can't get that payout? Is it you self-sabotaging yourself? Is it not respecting your rules? Or do you just not have the skill yet? It's a long process. But a lot of people will lie to themselves thinking that they have the skill yet when they don't even have the hard proof behind why their system works in the first place, which is the basics and the hard base of trading. You're trading a system. Everyone is telling you follow the plan, trust it. But if your plan sucks, even if you follow it to the T, you will not see profits. That's what I'm trying to emphasize, like put my that's why I'm always saying this, guys. Edge is so important. If you're one of those who think that um, every strategy works, no, I'm gonna tell you here, not every strategy works. And but it gets really deep. I think the first step is to have an edge. Okay, once you have an edge and you did the hard work and you were with your partners and you found a true edge, then psychology is starting to creep in. Then you will start having basically what we call you will start having psychological issues after you have an edge because you will have expectations that are not necessarily going to be met on that month or in that quarter. So you will try to force something out of the market that the market doesn't have for you. That's really it. So basically, how I view it is every single month the market has something for you. It's either plus 2,000, plus 4,000, minus 2,000. But let's say you try to force a $10,000 month in a month that the market only had minus 2,000 for you. You blew your account. And then let's say you're gonna look back at what you did, and all those bad habits um, will, increase those self-limiting beliefs. It will just make it worse and worse and worse. So like I think once you have an edge, like build that edge first. Build that edge. It's super important. That's the thing what I'm saying. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself about having an edge. How much data do you have? Um, did you do your back testing well? Do you know exactly where to put your TP, where your stop loss? What was your biggest loss streak in the last year, in the last two, the last three? How would you have, adapted to some market conditions, etc., etc. Once you know all this, which is the hardest work, you guys, it is the hardest work, then you need to fight yourself. Once you're at that point, which in my opinion 95% of people are not at the point where they fight themselves. Like, a lot of people think they're fighting themselves, but they're fighting their system. But if you're actually not fighting your system and you're fighting yourself, it's because you have expectations regarding a system that truly works, in my opinion. That's how I view it. And then this is where you will start to, you will need to be detached from trading completely to see profits. And this is one thing I said on Tradeify TV. But this is really one thing that, made the difference for me those last 2 months. And listen up, for me, those last 2 months, I was not thinking about trading at all. And it may sound crazy, but, I was going outside way more. I was doing everything that possibly I would tell you not to do if you're coming up, because, it's not something you should do. Let's say I was going outside way more, chilling with my friends way more, playing video games way more, sleeping a little bit later than usually. And the thing is, you may think this is dumb doing this, but you're applying the law of detachment. Basically, you're completely detaching yourself from the outcome of trading, and you're not getting any satisfaction from winning a trade or losing a trade. You're getting satisfaction from outside, so things from your life. Basically, you're basically getting satisfaction from, going to the gym, or, putting a lot of emotional attachment to something else in your life. And that, what will that do? It will let you eat those losses way easier. Like, you will eat those losses and you will walk out of the chart so much faster. And that is really what made the difference for me in those last 2 months. I was being what we call a gooner, bro. Like, I was doing everything that you shouldn't do when you're coming up, when you're trying to find your system. And it's facts. But what that made me do, it made me trade so well. Made me trade so well, because after a loss I would walk out, after a win I would walk out, after, and I knew that, let's say in the months that I don't get payouts, or in the months that I find them harder, it's really because I put too much pressure on me, knowing that I'm trying to force something out of the market that the market doesn't have for me. It's so important to know this. Like, real psychology, there's two ways you can face psychological issues. It's either if you have expectations regarding a true profitable system, and you put in so much work into that system that you're attached to the fact that you need to make money with that system. That's first, in my opinion. Second one is you're sizing up, and you can't accept bigger losses because you're not used to. A lot of people think that they're fighting, themselves and all they have, but they're just always losing. If you're always losing, you're not fighting yourself, you're fighting your system. And of course, you will self-sabotage, you will overtrade, over risk if you have a bad system. So yes, psychology is extremely important, and is really what's going to make the difference between someone who's a, let's say, a 5 to 6 to 7 figure trader. But yeah, so edge first with, find your edge first with a set of people that are true grinders. Then detach yourself completely from the outcome by grinding something else than trading. And then you'll see success, in my opinion. That's the way I view it. You really, that's the thing about me telling you guys that it's almost impossible to be a full-time trader without having money coming in every single month. It's because of that attachment aspect. If you quit your job and you don't have any money coming in every single month, how do you expect to detach yourself from the outcome when you need that money to live? It's impossible. So how are you going to accept drawdown periods? How? It's there is no way you can accept a 9 trade loss streak, which already happened to me multiple times. But how are you going to accept a 9 trade loss streak knowing that you cannot feed your kids? You can't. So for me, having a job, let's say, a trader that has a regular job is a way better trader than someone who doesn't have a job. And you can complain or say anything to me, but it's just the truth. This is the psychological aspect in trading. If you need that money to live, you will self-sabotage yourself 100%. If you don't need that money to live, you will accept those drawdowns. You will be completely detached. Having a grind outside of trading when you know you have a profitable system is extremely important. Extremely, extremely important. But a lot of people are detaching themselves, so are doing the step number 2, which is detaching themselves from the chart and, starting to get emotionally involved into something else in their life before having an edge. Which, finding an edge, in my opinion, takes a shit ton of times. Like a shit ton of time, or, a really big commitment with a lot of people helping you also. Don't expect to do it alone. Like, who are you to make it alone? Like, do you have a job outside of trading? Not anymore. Not anymore. But coming up, yes, I was. Like, you know, I was absolutely working. And let's say for the people who are thinking about doing this full time and stuff, if you want to do this full time, the best thing you could do is, let's say, if you want to completely, drop your job to find a system and don't expect to make money in the first 2 years. Drop your job just to study. Don't even go into the live market. Drop your job to study. Once you have that system, then go back to your job. Because if you have a job, let's say, and it takes a big part of your day, this is the moment where if you don't have a mentor, you're cooked, because you will not be able to put in the time in front of the chart in order to find a system in the first place. So this is what I mean about having the right approach. A lot of people have those goals and are really like, they're hardworking people and they know they have discipline and stuff, but they just don't have the right approach to things. By the way, guys, we're 90 people. If we have 100 likes, I'm doing a 50K growth account giveaway. So trading is a full-time endeavor, but the act of trading is not. Trading requires health, balance, and yeah, I truly believe that it's basically, there's a lot of laws of the universe that we need to know as a person, and one of them being, like I just talked about, let's say the law of detachment. So detaching yourself from the outcome, trusting that, let's say, God has something for you and it will happen. If when it is going to happen, it's going to happen. Okay, destiny basically. Then the other law is the law of accumulation, which means that how you do something is how you do everything. And that is one thing that is completely true. And you will find yourself, let's say, as the moment that if you are absolutely undisciplined outside of the chart, if you have negative thoughts, if you're doing everything wrong outside of the chart, then you should be worried about that first before becoming a profitable trader. That's super important. Those small steps, it looks like it's nothing, that's the thing, but it's everything counts. Actually, everything counts. The fact that you don't go to the gym actually counts. The fact that the moment it gets hard, you quit, it actually counts. The fact that, let's say, like everything that you don't want to do in a day and you dodge, it counts. So let's say being obsessed is a part of that, because a lot of people are gonna, let's say, while I was coming up, still coming up though, and you're never making it in trading. But when I was trying to find my system, basically I was putting in so much work, and people will tell you, "Yo, why do you back this for 12 hours? It does like you don't need to do that. You could just back this for 8 and walk out and it will be the same because let's say your focus is declining." Yeah, but I argue that being obsessed to that point is what will make you reach that level in the first place. Having that mindset as, being, yes, these small little steps that I'm making and the work that I'm putting in will uh, put me into a whole other level, is what will make the difference overall at the end. Having those delusional thoughts will make the difference. Everything counts. Just the fact that you believe that, okay, I'm putting in 4 hours more than everyone else. It's not a competition, okay? When I say than everyone else, we don't care about anyone. But just having that mindset overall of, I don't even look at the time, I'm just gonna put all into this shit, is the reason why you will succeed in the first place. You know? You're right. I'm currently suffering because I have nothing to fall back on after losing my job in January and still unable. Yeah. For, let's say, a lot of people will tell me, yo, Amos, like, I have kids, I have this. That if you have kids, or if you have a financial situation that is hard, you can't take that much risk. So knowing that you cannot take that much risk, you need to take it slow, and you need to have the right approach. You cannot go all into this shit knowing that in the first place, to succeed, you need to not care about the profits, you know? And also, there's a lot of people who are watching me from Africa, from, India, from Pakistan, and I'm not here to tell you what to do, but before even doing anything, let's say, I would try to get the fuck out of my country first, to be in a country where the currency is super high, to then have more opportunities. That's what I would do in the first place before having to deal with losses in trading. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of steps, different steps that people need to do in order to become profitable, depending on your own financial situation. Trading is an investing game. You are an investor. Short term, long term, but you're investing. If you don't have any money in the first place to invest, what the fuck are you doing trading? You know what I mean? Congrats on the payout. Appreciate you, bro. I recently purchased a 100K account. Uh, always, always think about, let's say, always think about prop firms as a business. You have costs, you have revenue, you have profits. If you can't accept the cost, if entering into a trade will make you have those butterflies in your stomach, you should possibly not buy that 150K account. But if you have what it takes, then put yourself in a situation of discomfort a little bit, and you will grow. Watching a monster of psychology. Appreciate you. Shit. Yeah, a lot of people, like, I come from Algeria, just know this, but I had the chance that my parents you know went to Canada, so I had that opportunity. But like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't even have the money to buy an eval. Please, please save my life." Bro, you know what to do to save yours. If I was in your shoes, I would not even be trading. I would do everything in my power to get out. And you have life on hard mode. This is true, and complete respect to all of y'all who are trying to make it from a country with a currency super, like, with a currency, let's say, like, in Africa, which is 1/20th of the US dollar. Did you find your holy grail and those 4 or 5 people around you? I found is basically I found my system that I can rely on to make me cash flow, make me jab, take those B setups, C plus setups every single day and take 10 to 15 handles. And I have the proof behind why I should trade those. I have the proof behind why I should do this for a living. This is the most important thing. If you want to make that shit your career, or if you truly want to make money and be there for the long run, have the hard proof behind why you should do this. Have the hard proof. And it's not that it's of course it's complicated, but it's a simple process. You just uh can't make it without it. Have the hard proof. How are you gonna sleep at night knowing that you left your job to be a full-time trader, but you're trading a system from a guy on YouTube that you don't even know if he's legit or not, or if he never showed you a singular payout, or if he trade one micro, or if he like, no shade to anyone. I will never talk about anyone else because I really don't care about anyone else, and I'm not here to beef with anyone. But you know, you have your own part of responsibility in this industry. You need to be smart. If it doesn't work, stop doing it. If it doesn't work, why are you doing it? Like, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. If you've been doing something for 4 months and you've respected every single rule and never self-sabotage yourself, and it doesn't work, and you're backtesting every single day, learning um, about the model, learning about the confluences to add into the system, and it doesn't fucking work, and it doesn't work in the live market, it doesn't work in backtesting also, then something is wrong. Something is wrong. There is not true positive expected value in the system, which means that if you keep trading that shit, you will lose your bread. You will lose your bread. That's the thing. It's like, this is why you need to be disciplined in the first place, because if you're not disciplined, then how will you know if the system you're trading actually works or not? That's the thing. You need to have that blind faith, but you cannot have that blind faith in terms of finding your system. Right now, I'm not looking for anything. I still think that we have a lot of chances of going back towards this internal gap this 15-minute internal gap. The timing though will be hard to find. I think we have some room to resweep this high and then find some signs of weakness right here to trade back towards this gap. Hopefully that would be my trade. Looking at it. Do you use TradeSync? No, I just use Tradeify free trade copier because I only trade 550k lightning accounts with Tradeify. That's the thing, you need to risk the amount of money that won't ruin your life. Of course, of course. You need to be in a situation where you don't care about losing that money. Did you ever trade Forex? No, I never traded Forex. I traded like NQ and ES on the CFDs, but never Forex. Yeah. So you see, like a lot of stuff we're talking about is like, I usually have a different view than people. And it doesn't mean that their view is not good or mine is better, but this is what I just found with by having skin in the game. It's just you need to be super accountable to every single thing you do as a person. You know, you cannot blame, like, if you're here on Twitter blaming someone else for, oh my god, he's making money with his Discord, just don't buy his Discord. Don't buy his Discord and focus on your own shit. You know? Super easy to do. Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. That's the quote. Losers focus on winners. What's your risk model? Means how do you size based on conviction? Yeah, I have setups based on if it's an A plus, B plus, or B minus setup. And if it's an A plus setup, I'll risk a little bit more. Which means, let's say I'm on a 150K account, I'll risk like $1,000. And if it's a B setup, B plus setup, I'll risk around 700, 750 per trade. Wait until you're in a live account, man. You'll be making 10x the amount. I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily agree with what you said because, in my opinion, there's way more money to be made with prop firms than with a live account. Let's say psychologically wise. Reason for it, let's say I have 550K accounts, and basically with by only investing the fee to pay those accounts, I can pull out easily 100K in a year. Okay, so for payout plus the live account, I could make 100K by initially investing 2,000, like 2,300 or $2,400. I think it's 2,500, like $500 per account. Try to make 100K with a $2,500 initial investment into a broker. It's impossible to do. That's the maths behind the fact that you can make 100K out of those accounts. Of course, the percentage is still big. To request 4 payouts in a row with 150K, you need to make hundreds of percents of your drawdown. But there is no way in this earth that you can make 100K with a $2,500 initial investment. Is it hard to do? Yes. Do you need to be a real good profitable trader? Yeah. But it's literally impossible to make this with a live account. Yes, I could be making a lot of money with a live account, let's say, but I would need a huge live account. I would need a live account, let's say, for me to make more money with a live account than with prop firms, I would need to have a live account with like 300K in it to risk $3,000 per trade. Then it would be worth trading this. But what's the difference between an initial investment of 2.5K to make 100 or 300K to possibly make 300? But you have that 300K to put in the first place. You see. So of course, you're right though, but the initial investment is completely different, and the approach is different also. Let's say I have a bad month with my 550K accounts, and I end up, let's say I end up losing those accounts and I blow them. All right, it's all good. The rules are quite strict, and I still risk a little bit more that I'm supposed to. Let's say, so let's say I blow those accounts. Boom, minus $2,000 in my bank account, 2.5K. Okay, that's good. But then I can redo it again, okay, which is an initial investment of 5,000 in total. And imagine if on this try I am able to pull out that 100K, then I still fucking, how much is that? 20x my initial investment. This is an investment. This is a business. Prop firm is a business. You have costs, which is the cost of the account. Okay, then you have the revenue, and then you do this. So the costs minus the revenue equals your profit. That's proper. This is how you need to see it. So I could lose those accounts 3, 4 times and keep trading them, and then I go into a nice win streak, and I'm mentally I'm all right, and everything is going on my side, and I get that initial investment back. That's the game. Are you profitable today? I didn't take any trades, but I can show you my dashboard after that. But um I requested 5 payouts yesterday, so my balance is at six, so basically 6,000. I have $6,000 of drawdown, and I need to make 4,500 to request my next payout, which is half of what I did to request my first, which it gets way easier on the second try than the first try. And then for the third payout, I only need to make 3,000, which is even easier. And the fourth payout, even the same thing, 3,000. So after the second payout, you are basically, I will not try to jinx myself or anything, but after the second payout, it's inevitable that you will get to that 100K mark. This is the reason why I keep saying, like, 150Ks, lightning accounts, Coda Moss for sure, but is the way to make your first 100K. It is. It is definitely. And of course, you could try to gamify all those small prop firms and those 50K accounts. But if you want, an experience where it's the closest to managing a big live account, it's this one, 100%. Because I don't feel like I need the money. I know that I could be patient, and even if it takes me 5 months to reach those 4 payouts in a row, I will get $140,000 Canadian, which is 100K USD. Why would I need more? What if you turn your 150K account into a live account? You would be eligible for daily payouts. So making your initials would be way more easier. Yeah, but to what extent? You can't, like, when you're trading a live account, you cannot size in the way that, let's say, like, you can size up in a good way, of course, and you could grow that balance, but you cannot start taking trades with $7,000 of risk. Yes, I am Canadian. Absolutely. I'm going to Tim Hortons after that. But yeah, what if you get moved? I could get moved before, of course, I know. But I'm not too worried about it. Not too worried about it. If I have a live account, I'm super. I'm gonna be super happy also. Always think about it. You always need to put yourself in a situation where you have enough accounts to be okay with the fact that it could take you 2 to 3 months to reach that payout. Okay, one thing that I will tell you my own experience with let's say with working with Tradeify or with prop firms overall, is that, let's say, what will happen is that let's say I would buy one growth account. Okay, one growth, and then I would be like, all right, one growth account, I need to make $2,000, $2,100 of profits. Okay, and I can request $1,500. Perfect. I have a $2,000 drawdown. Okay, good. So I know I need to make 100% of my account. Knowing that I need to make 100% of my account, I need to make 100% profits. And what I will say is that, okay, I'm gonna risk between 10 to 15% per trade. Okay, which is around $200 to $300 per trade. Good. Knowing this, I need to make 100%. So making 100%, depending on what the market has for you on this month, you could end up, you know, winning only $400 on this month. Okay, you could only be making, let's say, a profit of 400. But does that mean that you are a bad trader or you didn't execute right? No, it doesn't mean anything. The market this month for your strategy had this amount of profits for you. Good. Knowing this, then what happens into your brain, or into what was happening into my brain in the past, was that after, let's say, 1 month and a half or 2 months of trading those accounts, let's say this one growth account, I was like, damn, I'm only up $600 on this account, which is still pretty good. 600 is 30% profits by risking 10. You're only up $600 on an account, and it's been almost 2 months that you've been trading it. So you're like, damn, why am I trading this account? I could just go work a regular job and I would make more than this. That's important to know, because this is why in the first place you should put yourself in a situation where you buy a number of accounts that you will be comfortable trading with those set of accounts for 2 to 3 months, depending on what the market has for you, so you don't deviate from your plan. That's what I do. It's like I prefer buying 5 accounts, okay, rather than one, because I know that if it does take me 2 months and a half to get the payout, because I have no, I have no, um, like I can't decide if my next 15 trades are going to be winners or losers. Okay, it's completely a random distribution. Knowing this, that my wins and losses are completely random in the set of distribution, it could take me 2 months to get the payout. But if I have one account and I'm trading with that one account, and it does take me 2 months because that random distribution made it like a break even to slash, a small winning month, then I'm gonna be tweaking out and I'm gonna be like, damn, what is happening? I have a bad system. I'm gonna start over leveraging in the next 2 trades, and then boom, you blow the account. This is what happens in most people's brain, and it happened to me. You need, like, the initial investment, okay, that you make is super important, because um, this is going to dictate how well you will be able to trade those accounts. Why are you going to, trade one growth account just because you're, let's say you're being a bitch about the initial investment, when you're going to self-sabotage yourself after 1 month and a half because it's not enough money for you, you know? You need to know yourself. You need to know what you want. You need to have, your goals written down. Okay, if you have a regular job and your job is to make, you want to make an extra $5,000 per month or an extra $2,000 per month, then the approach is completely different to someone who wants, to make more money than that, because the guy who wants to make more money than that will have a bigger initial investment, will need to put on more risk, we need to put on more trades. So know what you want, know what are your goals also with trading, you know really, really important. That's why I preach the 5 accounts, because it's for me. If you, let's say you live in India and one account makes the whole difference, then trade one account. But if you're from the States, I would say, and one growth account is literally nothing for you to buy, then make the initial investment where you're not going to self-sabotage yourself after 2 weeks or 1 month and a half of trading this set of account. Extremely important. That's like one big psychological issue that a lot of prop firm traders are facing. What's the best way to prevent yourself from blowing the straight to funded accounts? To have money coming in outside of the market. Because let's say the lightning accounts, they're great. They're by far the best in my opinion, because you have that, if you get 4 payouts in a row, you have, a big amount of money coming in at the end. Good. Knowing this, it's a little bit harder to get the first payout, but the payouts are bigger than the gross. So if you are patient for the first 2 payouts, then the rest of the payouts, so let's say the third and the fourth, are inevitable. Inevitable. If they're inevitable, then, make sure you are not fiending for that money. You make sure you don't need it to a point where, you will crash out after not getting the payout after 2 months. You know, I've been trading this set of accounts for 1 month and a half, and I've been in a pretty big win streak. And I can show you my stats for sure, and you guys possibly already saw those multiple times if you're following me. But you know, you need to be comfortable with the amount of money that you're gonna make, even if it takes you 3-4 months to get the payout. Extremely important. Yeah, you need, like, let's say if you are someone who aims for bigger, let's say bigger profits, then you need to invest more. It's a numbers game. If you want to get paid big bucks, buy 150K accounts. As simple as that. You know, how are you gonna expect to make a huge amount of money only by investing a small amount of money? Honestly, this is amazing advice. As most of us crash out due to expectation, I have gone through. Yeah, exactly. This was what I just said. In my opinion, is some gold. Why? Because this was my what I had to deal with. You know, for me, in order for me to be satisfied and to be paid for my patience, you know, I need bigger accounts. I need, more accounts. I am not satisfied with one account because I could be working a regular job. That's always what I'm basing it off of. But if for you 2000 is a lot because you are working a regular job, then just trade one account. That's always what I say. Honestly, I think, guys, I'm gonna start trading AM session during those live sessions. To be honest, I think I'm gonna do, live sessions from 10 to 11, and like silver bullet hour, trying to catch some quick scalps here and there. On because the thing is, my main system is requires so much patience. So much. Like the trade could happen at 3:15 p.m. or 3:22 p.m. So um, live trading my approach, let's say that I do with those 150K accounts, is literally impossible to watch as a viewer, basically. Right now I'm watching it. It could happen at any time, but it's hard. Like it needs the market needs to do a lot for me to take a trade. Knowing this, like I'm thinking about doing, scalping sessions from 10 to 11 where I'm a little bit more aggressive on a singular account where, I would track my P&L and show you guys, uh, you know, the results of the system I'm showing on YouTube. That would be it basically. I would forward test and scalp those inversion plays that I'm always showing you guys during the live sessions in the AM. And if you guys think it's a good idea, let me know right now, because this is what I was thinking about doing in the last few weeks. So let me know, guys, if you think that's a good idea. Yeah, my chair is. Could bring up my chair a little bit. Amaz, do you ever full port on A plus setups? No, I don't. I don't. Uh, the reasoning for it is because I have a low risk to reward. So if I've, let's say, not full port, let's say when you're talking about full port, I mean definitely not full porting. That's for sure. But if you're talking about, slightly over leveraging and, risking way more than what I'm used to, it would happen. But if it happens, it's because I'm at a point in my accounts where it's either I make this amount of money or I'm better off restarting those accounts. When I'm in huge drawdown, I I took a hit because the market conditions were not favorable for my system. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna start tweaking and switching my strategy. That's one thing. I know it was just unlucky, and the random distribution of trades made me lose a lot more than what I'm used to lose. So I'm just gonna take it to the chin. And if, let's say, I'm like 2, 3 trades away from blowing the account, I will try to wait for an A plus setup and swing for the fences just to try to make it back. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna start back those accounts. Nothing. You need to you see that approach. How I talked. It's really an approach where you don't need the money. You're like, all right, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you can't need that money. You cannot be fiending for that money at all. How much time should anyone spend passing a two-phase challenge in your opinion? I mean, depending on the cost, depending on the cost of the the eval in and of itself. If it costs, let's say, 1,000, man, I would take it slow as shit. But if it's not worth a lot, let's say for me, I would be more aggressive because even if I lose it, even if I blow the account, let's say the eval 2, 3 times, the payout will give me 15 to 16x my initial investment. So I'm better off passing those accounts quickly. So um, the opportunity costs don't become bigger than my payout. It's a business. Think about it as a business. How do you manage trailing drawdown? You need to have a low risk to reward and a strict risk management system where you don't leverage more than like 10 or 15% every single trade. If you over leverage with trailing drawdown, you're cooked. When you're talking about trailing drawdown, you're talking about unrealized profits, trailing with unrealized profits. You need to have a system with low risk to reward. If you're swinging for 1 to 3s, 1 to 4s, you're gonna be in a lot of unrealized drawdown, unrealized profit, sorry. And if it comes back to your break even, then it cooks your drawdown. So you need to take out profits pretty fast, and you can't be over leveraged at any cost. You basically need a system with high frequency, low risk to reward. So you need to put on a little bit more trades, a little bit more risk, but take profit pretty fast. How do you do? To be honest, this is why I have an accountant. I'm not really good with all that shit. I'm pretty young, so have an accountant for that, my brother. Tabernac. Yeah, this PA absolutely sucks. Damn. The volume should pick up in September. Do you size more during evals? Yes, but like I said, I don't pass any evals anymore. I just go straight to funded. I think it's a better return on investment, knowing that you don't have to you don't have to pass any evals and you get more in your payouts. Yeah, I have in the past traded those, and for me, let's say for the way that I trade, it's pretty okay. I would say pretty okay. How many likes do we have, guys? 81. I need 110. 110 likes. Come on. I'll make a hopefully big giveaway for the month of August. No, not August. What am I saying? September. A back to school back to school giveaway. 100%. And let's say I was thinking about doing this, guys. Let me know if it's a good idea. I really want your opinion on this. But would you guys like, raw footage of, not necessarily day in the life, but raw footage of road to a live account with Tradeify and me showing you my P&L, what is happening inside my head, what's my emotion, what am I thinking right now of doing, etc., etc. I've already filmed around like 8 to 9 videos regarding my process to get to the first payout, which I want to post for sure into like a playlist. But let me know if you guys think it's a good idea to do, and if you guys would like to watch it, because I think, you know, of course it's nice to see the profits and stuff, but the journey is the most important thing. The journey is what makes the difference, really. Sticking to your rules, even through drawdown and stuff. I'm not gonna say like I want to see a drawdown period so you guys can face that drawdown period with me. I don't want this to happen to me, but I know it has, it could happen, and yeah, we'd be able to see how I would manage those drawdowns, because managing drawdown is by far what makes the difference between a newbie and a real trader, like a rookie trader and a really good trader. Is those drawdown periods. How is he gonna manage his risk? How is he gonna, you know, um, start taking setups that are not too risky, etc., etc. So, I have filmed already almost like seven, I think, 7 to 8 videos, showing, my P&L grow every single day. Like, oh, what's up, guys? This is my P&L. This is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking about doing. I was talking about lowering my risk when I was at, 7,000. After I was up 7,000 on all my accounts, I started to risk $600 per trade, $700 per trade. And this is one of the best things I've done. Why? Because I know that if I'm only $2,000 away from getting the payout, why would I risk 1,000 or 1,200 knowing that it will make me feel some sort of way? It will. It will make me feel some sort of way. It will. I will feel like basically what will happen inside your head when you're close to a payout is that you will find every reason on why you shouldn't have taken this trade after it was a loss. So knowing that, the brain is going to do you tricks like those, not even going to fuck around too much. And, I did lower my risk. So, um, I could see those scenarios being, um, less risky for me. Basically, if I took multiple losses in a row with $1,000 of risk, knowing that it could always happen. I could eat 3 losses in a row right now, absolutely. So how are you going to react knowing that you're close to a payout is completely different. It's a different situation. I think I might do the same. Watch me as one of the live traders in this competition in the next couple months. This is what I'm talking about. Let's go. Let's go, Meeks. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That hunger of like, yeah, I'm gonna don't do it just to like, don't compare yourself, or don't do it just to prove people wrong. Do it for yourself. Do it because, all right, I know I can do it. I know I have what it takes. I know I put in the work. I know, I'm a good trader overall. And if I stop self-sabotaging, I will definitely reach that level. That's how you should think. Don't prove don't prove someone else. Prove to yourself. Watch out, by the way, on my Discord. There's so many fucking fake accounts of mine. Uh, you just said look at my DM, but I'm pretty sure you DM the wrong guy. If you're on Discord, make sure you're smart. Okay, if you want to DM me on Discord, or you want to, you want to talk to me about anything, make sure you go on my Discord and you click on the account that makes the announcements. You know, don't don't think I'm gonna add you or ask you for anything. I'm not gonna DM you first at any cost. Never. So knowing this, I think you possibly DM the wrong guy. Can you teach your model in few minutes? See, that's the problem. Few minutes. Why would it take few minutes, bro? Why does it needs to be quick? Yo, that's an Andrew Tate type of speech. But that's true though. Go on my YouTube, brother. There's literally like 25, 30 videos of me showing a playlist um on how to trade inversion for value gaps, which is in my opinion a pretty good system if you're trading prop firms. Yeah, watch out for those fake accounts of mine. Like every time, like if you join my if you join my Discord, you will get added by 15 guys. And I don't know how to, you know, I don't know if someone can help me with this, or um, help me figure out a way to not have those kind of fake accounts. But there is no way for me to do those. Those fake MS accounts are just me, fam. What's up, Tyler? Now you did great today, bro. I saw you. You're starting to take those heavier setups. I like it, bro. Putting in more risk. I like it. Saw you had two big days, like 1.3 and more than 1,000. So come on, bro. I need you to get that payout. The thing is, Tyler, is like the first payout on the 150K is the hardest. It's like for me, bro. I've been in a win streak, not even lying. Like I've been in a win streak, and it even took me 2 months after being in a win streak. So you know, after the first payout, it gets so much easier. But the first one, you just need to forget about the profits for like the next 2 months. Really, that's really about it. Yeah, just watch out. Just make sure you're not dumb enough to think that I will DM you or will ask you to join my mentorship, or like, bro, I will not do this. I thought not to make you waste much time. Yeah, yeah, don't worry, bro. It's just for you to understand the whole system that I'm showing on YouTube, let's say. Um, it would take a lot of time, let's say minimum 20 to 30 minutes. So just go watch the YouTube videos. Do you have some tips on how to manage the consistency rule in straight to funded? Mm, consistency rule, yeah, just go for lower risk to reward trades, I would say. Let's say instead of going, let's say you go for one to threes, go for one to twos. One to twos is really good for straight to fundeds. Let's say you have a 50K, which I think you would have. 50K, you need to make 3,000 without ever losing 2,000. And if let's say if you risk 200 or 300 to make 400 or 600, then I think that's good. I love the Tradeify Sunday backtest. Quick question: when scaling down on your 50-minute for value gap, what time frame do you think is the best time frame? Good question, my brother. I think the 1 and 2 minutes are the best. 1, 2, and 3. The 5 is a little bit higher, so you would need, for that 5 minute for value gap to work, you would need a little bit more context, because let's say how you would frame those trades, it's a reaction play based on the order flow. If price reaches a 15-minute gap and it immediately rushes back to the upside, you know that these sellers, these aggressive sellers, got absorbed by the zone, which are passive buyers, and then aggressive buyers disrespected the area where aggressive sellers were located inside that lower time frame for value gap. So you have, a squeeze scenario and a one-to-one back to the upside. Good. But let's say if you look at price going here and digging into the gap, and then there's a 5 minute inversion, it doesn't mean anything really. You want to see those immediate reaction as first. You want to see that it's hard for the market to close inside the gap. You want to see signs of absorption and aggressive buyers coming in. So you trade minis, micro. I trade minis. Depending on the setup that I have a setup where, it's based more on 5 minute structure. So I would risk, let's say, 1 to 2 minis, and I have another one which is based on 1 minute structure. So I would risk, let's say, 4 to 5 minis, depending if it's in the PM session or AM session. But I usually have the same risk every single trade. So from 600 to 1,000. But now that I got the first payout, I will not risk more than 600 per trade or 700 per trade. Why? Because I only need to make 4,500. So even if it takes me 2 months to get that payout, like I said, guys, I don't really care. Why? Because I want that 100K. I want to be to get that live account. So it's really like I view it as a yearly plan, really. You know, of course, it will not take me a year. Hopefully not. Hopefully, like I'm aiming for what is it? We're gonna be in September. Realistically, November ish. If I can have it, I will be pretty happy. I trade NQ. Who is your mommy milker? Fuck is this? I have four 50K accounts and group them on Tradeify and connected to TradingView. But does TradingView support that? No. Basically, if you want to copy trade for, let's say, Tradeify accounts for 50Ks on TradingView, putting your order on TradingView and you want them to get copy trade, you need to have either Trade Syncer or Replicanto. In my life, I've always used Replicanto, but now, let's say, since I'm only focused on my 150Ks, I trade with the built-in Tradeify trade copier. Tradeify, what the fuck am I? Tradeify trade copier, which is, there's a lot of videos. You can even go and see Tyler Trade's videos on those for sure. Um, how to set up, Replicanto, or how to make a group account with Tradeivate. How much money do you think you spent since you started trading? Really good question. Did I spend on evals and activation fees? Maybe. I've been trading for a while now. Most of the amount of money that I wasted was in the beginning trying to rush the process. I would say $20,000, something like that, like this. Yeah, 20,000 is I think where is my investment regarding, let's say, accounts. Could be more. I could be talking shit, really. Like, this is the thing where I'm just guessing because I never looked. Because I think that if I really truly look, nah, really, I think it's more than this. I think it's more than this, possibly. I don't know. I don't want it to be more than this, but I don't think it's more than this. Did you start trading futures right away, or did you trade options? No, no, I traded futures right away. I was trading CFDs though. Um, not like Yeah, I was trading CFDs at first, but I was trading NQ, so NASA 100 and S&P, and then um I went to futures immediately. Do you think algo will replace human trading soon? I think no, like you're always gonna have a piece of the pie that you can take, you know. You don't move the market at all. You can just take your piece of the pie and walk out, so there's a place for everyone, even with those algos, and there's already hundreds of algos that are trading this market. Billion-dollar algos, most likely, from huge banks and huge institutions. So it's not anything new. What is considered a good win rate for you? 70%. 70%, knowing that I have either a zero point 0.8 risk to award and a 1-to-1. So, can't ask too much from the market. Like, it's always depending, because there is some months where I'm gonna have 90. There is some months where I'm gonna have 56. There is some months that I'll have 67, you know, but just take what the market gives you. It's 238. We need 10 more likes for us to do a giveaway, but I need to actually go because I have a meeting with my brother Nick. So I was trading from crypto and got without a difference. This stuff is way easier. Yeah, for sure. Oh my god, crypto is impossible to trade. I think we could see some shorts coming in back into this gap, but the timing is gonna be weird, really. Let's look at the yeah, still fading the daily, but could still see it happen. All right, so yeah, guys, this was a really good session. Didn't take any trades, but like I said, I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna start live trading in the morning. So from 10 to 11, I will need to speak, you know, to some people before doing this. But, I think this is what I'm gonna do because, there's a lot of trades you can take, and I can take with y'all, let's say, during the AM session that are respecting, the overall framework that I'm showing on YouTube, which I think is pretty good. So I would need to have a separate account for that. That's for sure because I don't want to group trade everything together. Um, so yeah, just before I just leave, um, I would like to say that I really appreciate you guys always. For showing up, showing love. Even on Tradeify TV and on my YouTube channel. Extremely, extremely grateful for this. I will show you my journey for sure, guys. I will try to give you the biggest amount of value that I can because I really think in this space what's missing is good education, and not just good education but awareness in terms of how you should trade those prop firms, um, how you should approach things with trading in the beginning, because once let's say when I first started, it's just so overwhelming and you don't know where to start. And I feel like you know having people having like someone or few people that are giving you that road path, um, is really needed, and this is what I want to have. This is the impact that I want to have on the community for sure. It's just showing an approach where it's a a proper approach, not selling you the dream that okay you're gonna have a Lamborghini tomorrow. This is bullshit, guys. Like being a trader is completely different than what you think. There will be drawdown periods. It will suck sometimes. You will feel lonely. um, you will doubt your system. You will want to over leverage. You will want to make things quicker than it should. But knowing how, like looking at someone that is telling you the truth and showing you the real background and the real behind the scenes, behind even making 100K per year trading is what's important. If you can make $6,000 to $7,000 per month consistently with trading, you could go live wherever you want in this life and you could be a king. That's the realest thing I will say. Is like you don't need to make 100K per month or 50K or 30K per month. If you know how to consistently pull out 5K USD every single month out of the market by trading, finding 10, 15 points every single day with an approach where you will be profitable in consolidation market conditions, trendy market conditions, then this is the real deal, in my opinion. Like, stop trying to, view trading as a way to, like, you're not going to change your life with trading overnight. Okay. What will most likely happen is that you will change your life situation. Let's say you're working and you're adding trading, you will start going on vacations more. You will start having way more free time. You can start working 3 times a week rather than six. So this is what trading can give you. This is basically what trading will give you if you put in the work and you're basically super and you have the right approach basically. So just before we leave, let me just show you guys, just for full transparency, I'll always do this, guys. every single time. You guys already know, but let me just show you guys um right now my accounts where they are, and show you guys the payout that I requested. So here we go. So as you guys see right here, this is, I requested $15,000 yesterday with Tradeify, and right here these are all my accounts. I will post a little bit more about the behind the scenes. I will do a playlist behind those, and hopefully you guys will like it. But this is my current accounts. You guys see 0 trading days, but before I requested that payout, I had around like 26 to 30 trading days with a 14.4% consistency, which means that I never over leverage. I never tried to swing for the fences, never tried anything dumb, traded properly, focused on my system, focused on my own setups. Even if someone would post, big payouts on Twitter, I would focus on my own journey, knowing that, okay, he got his, piece of the pie. I will get my piece of the pie. It's just a question of time. Don't ever compare yourself to anyone. That's one thing I will keep saying for sure. So here is my P&L, net P&L after 249 trades. You can see the equity curve. You see that I never really crashed out. That's really the important thing. If the way that you can really make a judgment about my trading and the way and my approach is by this equity curve. All right, look at this equity curve. If it had a big swing and went back to the negative, or had a huge variance here, you would have understood that I was gambling with those accounts, or I was over leveraging the fuck out of those accounts. But you can see here, net P&L after 249 trades, 45,220 bucks, okay, in 2 months. And yeah, it is possible. Yeah, I'm not a wizard. I'm not smarter than you. I just have a right approach, in my opinion. Average win to loss. Hopefully you guys are able to see it well, but average win to loss 1.84. Even if I have a 1-to-1 risk to reward or a 0.8 risk to reward, I have an exponential bet sizing approach where I risk a little bit more on my A plus setup, which makes literally my win rate, my risk to reward higher than a 1-to-1, just because I win more on those A plus setups that only show up 6 to 7 times per month, which is another approach, but an approach that I learned from really, really good traders in the space. Current day streak for profit factor 2, which means that all my losers combined was $43,000, and all my winners combined is $88,000. So which makes that net P&L of 45. And yeah, you guys see it right here. This is my P&L for the month of August, and traded. I will say it. There was days where I really wanted to crash out, and I will talk about those days right here. But there was days where I didn't, I wanted to rush the process. All right, started in June 2025, so on the 27th, lost 4.8k on the first day, which is not a good start. Then right here you can see made it all back right here on one A plus setup. Good. Now I'm gonna start chilling. Base hit, lost. Base hit, base hit, base hit, lost. Those 2 days right here were days where I was starting to see some profits in my balance right here because of those days right here. And as soon as I took a loss and I saw my balance going from 3,000 all the way to around a little bit less, I was starting to tweak out. This is one thing that will happen if you're on a winning streak, or if you start winning a lot. Make sure that you are always humble, and you know that you can lose your next trade and you will be able to manage your emotions. It's always after big win streaks that you will end up blowing your accounts, because you're either too cocky, or you don't know how to take a loss. Okay, you forgot how to take a loss. Then you see right here, every single trade here, 5 trades, which means that it's 1 trade per account divided by 5 accounts. Here, 6 trades, 5 trades, 6 trades, 5 trades, 30 trades. You guys can see I'm fully transparent. I was taking some dumbass stabs. Of course, I was not over leveraging, but I was taking some dumbass stabs here. Okay, yes, it happened. And then had the weekend to chill. Did the same thing on Monday. So on those days, imagine if I blew the account, those accounts on those days, how big of a dumbass I would have been, because I would have missed out on literally $45,000, almost. Because after those two losses right here, I was almost back at break even, and then look, if there's no opportunities, don't take anything. That's one thing about my strategy and the way that I approach things. I don't think there is a good opportunity every single day in the market. Knowing this, I will adapt, and I will wait for my exact setup to happen before I put on some size. Okay, boom. This is what happened. 15 didn't trade, 16 traded, 17th didn't trade, then started to make those small wins here and there. Boom. And then 3 days in a row, no trades. Traded here really well. And then boom, A plus setup shows up. And I took that live trade right here on YouTube. You guys can see it. There is the recording. We'll try to find it. It's on August 31st, no, June 31st, July 31st. What am I saying? Yeah, July 31st. And I'm not gonna lie, after that loss, I was fucked up. Because look at this, $6.1 thousand. I just gave back 3 days worth of profits on on B plus setups, B setups. So at this point, imagine if you lose here 3 days worth of profits, how you're feeling basically. And this is why you can't fiend for that money. You need to have an approach where you don't care about the money aspect. You're just trading. So after that day, it was the beginning of August. Took 2 trades, 1 loss, 1 win, plus 500, walked out. Then again, took a scalp, lost it on the next day. But I still had. What's gonna happen basically every time, guys, is that you have a system, and sometimes your system will be in a break-even stage, sometimes in a losing stage, sometimes it will start to pick up. And when it starts to pick up, it will pick up for real. And this is what I saw in my backtesting, saw in the live markets. When your system, when the market is going to be aligned with your system, it will be hard for you to lose. And this is exactly what happened in August. Right here, one lost, then small trade here on Tradeify TV, then boom, 5.8, 3.3, 4.9. This is a $1 trade, so this doesn't count. It was break even. 3.9 minus 2.7. Okay, I took a loss after literally 4 winning trades. 3.8, 3.6, 2.7, and then 1,000. When your system will start to pick up, you cannot miss out on those trades. Your system will start to pick up one day or another. Okay, it will start to pick up. You will start accumulating those wins. Boom, 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 win, 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 win. And just make sure that on the day that the market has nothing for you, right here, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, the day that the market doesn't have anything for you, don't try to push the button for no fucking reason. Don't try, or on the day that the market has a loser for you, don't try to walk out green. Why would you do that? It's a game where if you stay patient, the best losers always win. And you see, I lost, I'm human. Lost here, lost some big amounts sometimes, lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I lost 10 trades on 10 trading days. But did I blow my account in one of those days? No. I was being confident in my system that even if I was in a drawdown, my system would walk me out of that drawdown one day or another. Your system will start to pick up one day or another. It could be in 1 month. Okay, but if you don't blow your account 1 month from now, you will thank yourself for that. So this was what I wanted to share to y'all. And just before we go, right here, let's go here. And this is just to show y'all, because I'm just showing all my journey basically, but this is right here, my $15,000 payout from Tradeify that I got yesterday. Right here, I requested 12,000 but ended up making that extra $980, which was enough for me to request that payout right here, as you guys see. So $15,000. If we also go, the way that you can know if someone is actually requesting or not, or if he's like faking it, let's say, is if you go on Tradeify Discord and you go on payouts, let's say here, then you will see my payout right here at 9:15. So boom, $15,000 payout. So appreciate you guys so much for, showing up on those streams and showing love. And I will definitely, I have the goal, to go for that live account. We'll show everything, but make sure that you have realistic goals, a realistic approach. Don't rush things. Don't think you're gonna get a Lamborghini tomorrow. Just aim to have a better life by using trading. So appreciate you guys so much. I see you guys tomorrow for yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the same exact session, so at 1 p.m. And starting from next week, I will most likely do the live sessions on from 10 to 11 a.m. I just need to talk to Brett and some people about it. So um, I know exactly that it's okay. So appreciate you guys so much. And I see you guys on tomorrow and on Sunday. Okay, Sunday I host a backtesting session. Okay, backtesting session, and also a backtesting wars, basically backtesting tournament, where the top three gets in the leaderboards gets free prizes from Tradeify, so Lightning accounts, and also you will get subscriptions, free subscriptions from FX Replay. So you don't want to miss out on that. A lot of people who, let's say, don't have enough money to buy those, this is your time to shine. Okay, if you have, if you're a good trader, then go show it to me on that day. So Sunday, every single Sunday, 1 p.m. EST. I want to see you guys there. It was at 7 p.m. and then I talked about Nick just because I know there's a lot of people from Europe, from Africa, so from Asia, just so you guys can be there. So lock in, guys. I want everyone to join those sessions and show love there, and show me that they're good. And yeah, so appreciate you guys so much, and I see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST, and also on Sunday at 1 p.m. EST. Also, if you want to check out a prop firm, check out Tradeify. They're by far the best prop firm in the game. Go. Make sure to use code AMOS. This is what funds those giveaways and those live sessions. Appreciate you guys so much. See you guys on the next one. Mwah. Peace out.